We apologize if you had other plans tonight. That being said, we're glad we're your plans. It's night one of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, and my goodness, what a day it's been. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is August 11th, 2020, night one of the Stanley Cup Playoffs in the books, and my goodness, what a day, what a night for the National Hockey League to come back. We'll talk about all kinds of things, including where the Space Needle is located and some new threads for the Buffalo Sabres. But first, welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is a live interactive post-game for all kinds of Stanley Cup playoffs, so chat with us and fellow hockey fans in the YouTube channel on the page or the app, and of course follow us on the social, whether it's Twitter or we're gifting some of the highlights of the day's games, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course our Discord, Teal Town USA. And also for more Sharks content, hit us up at tealtownusa.com. I have a co-host this evening. It's been a while, but he does spell his name the right way, and he is Eric Landy. First off, Landy, hi, it's been forever. Secondly, and I'll already ask, where's the man bun to get that out of the way for AJ?
So my hair is just down right now, kind of in its natural COVID-like state.
You're definitely letting the flow out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the flow. But I've emerged from witness protection, I guess, and I guess I'll be back to grace the YouTube airwaves. But
it's good.
21 Pucks, who's the new guy?
Right.
Yeah, first time, long time. I'm Eric Landy.
Right.
If you guys forgot all about me, but no, I've been enjoying the back to play, and it's finally given us sports people, something to watch, and I feel like the ratings are probably really good across the United States, and especially for the home teams that are representing. So I'm sure the NHL is doing a really good job with the TV numbers. I think of all the major league sports, they definitely have pulled off the return to play the best.
Right. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job. I mean, you can throw in MLS and NBA. MLB definitely not, but it shows that the bubbles have been working and doing it this way. It's been great. And
the other thing too, Eric, I mean, the play on the ice has been frenetic. I mean, it's like they haven't missed a beat. I mean, we've had the gloves drop, and we've had just really intense games. I mean, just take a look at today and the epic that went down today. I mean, these guys are going full bore. They still want to hoist the Stanley Cup. And honestly, it's translating to a really good on TV product. And
yep.
I cannot commend the NHL more. And not only that, but we got kind of like that Christmas present in the CBA extension. And it's smooth sailing. I think everything except for Connor McDavid and Toronto being in the playoffs. I think the NHL has gotten its wish list checked off, so to speak.
Yeah, you lose some star power with Edmonton, Toronto, and Pittsburgh out. But my goodness, I mean, you talk about how intense it was. It literally was like day one. Canes and Rangers of the qualifiers, that just kind of set everything up, and then everybody else was like, oh, it's on, let's go. And it really kicked up a notch today. And 21 Pucks mentioning Tkachuk versus Perry.
Yeah,
I think it's like we'll start there with Dallas and Calgary. It was intense right off the bat. Calgary was throwing hits like crazy. Dallas was trying to use their skate and speed. It was a good game, back and forth for sure. In this one, what did you think of the Flames coming up with a 3-2 victory? And what did you look in that one for game one out in the West?
Yeah, in the West, for me, the words that kind of come to mind is heavy, very heavy hockey. Those two teams are not afraid to, throw the body, and so it's kind of that heavy Western conference style of hockey that we all know. I mean, these are two teams we're intimately familiar with, and it just again, I think that this one's going to go the distance out of my bracket. I had Calgary and Dallas going 7, and to be quite honest, it's going to be throwing haymaker. Each one is going to throw haymakers. So it would not surprise me if we came back to to see Dallas even up the series. And again, I think it's just going to be one of those really scrappy wars of attrition. So that for me, that's kind of what I see out of this. And whoever comes out of this, this matchup, will definitely go downhill from here as far as the physical play.
Yeah, you can definitely sense that it'll be heavy hitting, but Dallas has that edge with a little more of a speed and a skill, in my opinion. I was kind of surprised that they lost this one, but then again, not because they had a rough round robin per se. But I gotta say this, Landy, former Shark Joe Pavelski, and it's weird still to say that, but
Yeah, I know.
if you recall, 2019 round one, game one, scores the opening goal for his team by taking a puck to the mouth and deflects it in. Okay, this year, I can tell on the replay, and I gifted on our Twitter if you haven't seen it. So check out our Twitter if you haven't seen our gift of it. We definitely saw Joe Pavelski have a distinct elbowing motion, as we could say, and deflect in. So I gotta ask. I know he's a good tipper with his hockey stick, but for crying out loud, now he's using body parts. It's like, come on, what next? Are you gonna try out for the San Jose Earthquakes? I would say FC Dallas, but they're under major quarantine right now.
Um, I mean, it's just the guy will do anything to win. It goes to show you how much of a warrior this cat is. I mean, Pavelski, heart and soul. What else is there to say? I mean, it was a damn shame that he moved on. We understand, and it's been hashed and rehashed, but um, it's still, to me, one of the most heart and soul captains, and really, I think the closest thing to Buster that we've seen, come through in a Sharks uniform. He didn't necessarily have Owen Nolan's stature, physically, but boy, I mean, he could throw pound for pound in the heart department with that guy. I mean, talk about a guy who cares and who's motivated, motivational, and somebody you can really, rally the troops around. So, um, again, it doesn't surprise me. Nothing out of him surprises me anymore, because it's just he proves the impossible, man.
Yeah, no, in that sense, I think you're meaning like his will and his desire to win, in that sense for sure. But for some reason, Dubé with 2 goals on the night for Calgary gets it in. Even though uh, I almost said Rittich, but it wasn't Rittich. Cam Talbot lets in a softie right after the Pavelski goal. I'm with you. I can see, there are some shades of struggle with the Flames. I can't see them winning this one outright, but hey, they're going to give them a battle, which I think, all in all, for all hockey fans, you're gonna love to see it, as Dirk would point out.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be some good hockey, and maybe one of those series, that's gonna emerge as one that can go the distance. So, yeah, well, we'll definitely see, going forward where these two are gonna match up. Calgary draws first blood, but it wouldn't surprise me again if Dallas comes back to even the series up.
Yep, absolutely. Let's go on to the game that just ended, because we got a tease for the big one that happened in the middle of it. Vegas and Chicago. Um, Chicago, where the hell were you? Um, I mean, was Edmonton that easy of an opponent? Are we kind of getting to that? Because, you know, as much as I hate to see it, Vegas was all over just took care of them really quickly.
I don't
And
know. Yeah, I don't know if this is a product of Vegas is just that good and Calgary is and Chicago is just that bad, or if oh my goodness, why did I say Calgary? Chicago, if Chicago is really that bad, or if it's Vegas that's really that good. I, I to tell you the truth, I don't really have a good feel for this series. I mean, I picked Vegas coming out of this series because, I thought it was going to be short. I think I had it pegged at like 5 games. So, because I think Chicago has enough, pride to win a game. But, man, Vegas is just going to be the steamroller coming out of this bracket, to me, and whoever they face in the next round, it'll be quite a challenging opponent. So, yeah, I think this is just the freight train coming through. Forgive the pun, but coming through Chicago, right? And it's just yeah, this looks like massacre in the waiting.
oh, jeez, I when we did our bracket challenge, I said, hey, is there a way we can do one with that we take from our heart, and then the one that we can take from our from realistic? Because of course I'm gonna say realistically Vegas should have this, but in my heart I'm still thinking Chicago still has a decent squad. You know, their defense is probably Kane and Taves are there. You have DeBrincat, you have Kubalik, a Calder candidate, and Kirby Doc, if I remember it, that's how I said it right.
Yep.
And you have a decent amount of players that can support it. So I can't see that. I can't, be like, okay, they got the, Vegas has got this for sure. But at the same time, boy, did Vegas show up for night one, and they've shown up so far. Robin Lanner, even though he's now 6-0 in a Golden Knights uniform, um, you know, despite that being Fleury's net this whole time, shows up and like 21 Puck says, knows the number on these guys because they know their shooters coming over from. Which, by the way, hey Toronto, way to go! Way to go with the.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost Eric.
Oh, of course, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see where you're going with that, and I think for me, it's just the goaltending. But you just boil it down to goaltending, and Corey Crawford is a shell of himself, and I think again he had maybe enough in the tank to kind of get through Edmonton, but going up against a team that can come at you in waves, and that's a problem that I see with Vegas. I mean, we kept saying more and more throughout the season, but it's a team made up of second lines. And when you're a team like Chicago, who is very top heavy, they're
Right.
getting better. They've got some really cool projects in DeBrincat and Strome, and we like Carpenter, of course, but
Right.
they're not really suited to playing a game against four second lines.
Yeah. No. In Vegas is so stacked, and they are completely stacked. And thanks, way to go NHL on that one. You know, I can't wait for Seattle to do that also in the division. It's gonna be so wonderful. But they took advantage of all their things, and they looked really sharp now. Um, it's if it's not Mark Stone or Max Pacioretty, it's a guy like Riley Smith, who yeah you've heard about him, but it's not like he's like, oh, there's a guy who will be at the All Star game. It's you get that support staff that goes through him, and Vegas is Vegas. I'll give it to them, but wow,
Yeah.
it's good. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt bad if PDB's hoisting the cup, and you know,
Well, I mean, and then also too the PDB effect, right? I mean, there's a reason why he would go to the finals in the first year of his coaching out of Florida, and
yeah,
that's because his style is, I would say it's reminiscent of the Tortorella kind of school of thought, where you give yourself defensively over, and really it's a taxing style to play, and just being responsible on both ends of the ice. So it's again, I mean, the proverbial 200-foot game is what he stresses, right? Where you're
right.
good in both the offensive and defensive zones. So they're built for it. They're built for a long run, and it sucks to say that. And I mean, all I gotta tell you is William Carrier scored. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
and it's the fourth line there too. I mean, Reeves was on the ice for it. They get contributions from everyone, and as cliche as it sounds, they're a team. They get a lot of pucks in deep, and get the puck out, and then you go around, and then somebody
yeah,
shoots a puck and they score. I mean, as cliche as it is, that's what they're doing, and kudos to them because they're getting it done. So
yeah. I mean,
as
not only
painful as it
immense.
says.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get you. And the other thing too is, I mean, the stud is emerging on the blue line in Vegas. Shea Theodore, man, that kid plays a hell of a game,
Yep.
and they. I was listening to 590 The Fan this morning, and they kind of liken him to a younger Duncan Keith. A Duncan Keith in his prime is where Shea Theodore is kind of arcing to, and it's like, holy crap. I mean, I know Vegas had been, clamoring for a number one offensive defenseman. They had gone after, of course, Eric Carlson, and they were rumored to other offensive defensemen,
Right.
but they've got one
No.
and they've got a star right there on the blue line, and again. It sucks that it's Vegas that I'm saying this about, because that kid, I don't know how the hell they pried him out of Anaheim, but
Yeah. Well.
I yeah, I think that it's scary, where their trajectory could go.
Oh yeah, and you throw in Alec Martinez, who's won a couple cups with L.A. You also throw in Nate Schmidt, who they grabbed from Washington in the expansion draft. I mean, they are a credible squad. There's no, and I'm gonna go old school here. There's no Ken Hammond. There is no Neil Wilkinson on these Vegas Golden Knights. Sorry, there isn't. They've all got a good system, and it's going to help them, and it's going to help them, go deep. I still hope Chicago upset them because that'd be great.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't even care about my bracket at this point. You know what I mean? Like, as long as Vegas doesn't win it, but I do have somebody beating Vegas a little later on.
Yeah,
So
I still say Chicago pulls it out, but I will take that because we all know how great my predictions are. So speaking of which, I picked. Oh, and some kid named White Cloud. Hey, they got clouds in the sky, and they're shining bright right now in Vegas for sure. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah,
Hurl.
yeah. It's just yeah, God. All right, I need a shower after that. Okay, moving
Right.
on to the game of the night, or wait, I should say game of the day and the game of the night. Tampa Bay and Columbus. Let's put this in perspective today, Landy. Drove down to San Jose with the girlfriend. She rented a car uh, to drive around with her son. We had to drop it off in Santa Clara. We were just getting ready to leave Sharks Ice around noon as the game was starting. Not only did we get back, we were able to get back in time to see the second period and then the third period, and then the first overtime, and the second overtime, and the third overtime, and the fourth overtime. And I'm going to pull up our title shot here because, you know, the, the NHL was on it tonight. Was absolutely on it. There was this one where it says, "We apologize if you had other plans tonight," which of course I said, "Oh, there's the second ever apology from the National Hockey League. At this time, it includes everybody and Vegas." But I also enjoyed, "Please rise" for the seventh period stretch, which I thought was classic, and they've been really killing it with the game presentation here. So the Yeg shaking, the fake crowd really wanted out of that game.
Oh,
but
boy.
but
Okay.
let's
I mean, let's teeing this guy up though. I mean, in all seriousness, I think going into this, we knew that Tampa had something to prove.
right.
And
You knew
we
they were going to be
were,
coming.
yeah, and we were intrigued to see what the little engine that would do against this squad. And I had this game. I think I had it going in 6 games, and I think I picked Tampa Bay because I just can't see them losing to Columbus again. So,
Landy.
I mean, having said all of that, boy, howdy, I did not expect a 5 overtime game to start us off, but I guess we're gonna light the cup of this series with dynamite because holy God, I mean, you have 88 shots on goal,
Right. And that was just from Tampa. I think Columbus had like 67, if I'm not mistaken. And the funny thing too is, Landy, I think everybody's said this. It's like NBC is like the only, network, only the major networks that doesn't have a shot counter. By the 5th overtime, they had actually put it on there for the duration of the game, unless there was a power play or they were rotating through stats. And I was like, oh my gosh, it took a 5 overtime game for NBC to finally put a shots on goal counter on the entire time. That's crazy. So good on them. But I mean, Corpusalo, 85 saves. That is an NHL record. They're just craziness. I mean, there is hitting left and right. Like what 21 Pucks is saying, they're definitely going to finish their checks on Hedman from today's game. He had on out. There were some questionable calls that weren't called, like the Cam Atkinson trip that he goes into the net for. I mean, and Felix, you're saying it for me. Tampa Columbus was insane. If this is what game 1 is going to be like, just think of what the other 6. Now, that being said, I hope you are dead wrong, Landy, that Tampa Bay wins this series. We need that pick to become 16, so that way we can trade. We don't have to trade when DW wants to trade up in the draft.
Wait a minute. What's the conditions on the Tampa pick?
They suck. It got tire. We have their first round pick overall. We have their first round pick, and if they go out early, and that pick gets higher.
Right. Okay. I got you.
So they suck. The pick gets higher.
Yeah. No, I totally get you, but I don't think that's happening.
Oh, you bastard. What the actual hell?
I mean, look, it's so insane. I mean, the goalies basically they each had a 96 save percentage. One was 966 and the other one was 968. I mean, both of these kids, I mean, Korpisalo and Vasilevsky just played out of their
Yeah.
minds.
There were some saves in there. Sorry to interrupt, but there were some saves that were just, oh, that's going in. How the hell did he stop that? Are you kidding me? You know?
yeah, yeah. Um, and I mean, Seth Jones plays
Oh
an
man.
entire game himself.
Yeah.
Zach Werenski plays an entire game of worth of hockey, and I mean, those two are just. I mean, it's reminiscent of Lidstrom Rafali. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
Rafalski,
Like
yeah.
Rafalski. Yeah. I mean, it's just that beautiful to watch those two play because they read off of each other. One's more an offensive guy, the other one's more of a two-way kind of defenseman. So they both have offensive minds,
Right.
but they're also so good in their own
Yeah.
zone. And those two, Werenski and Jones, I mean, both are going to go on to be Norris candidates, if not already. I think those two are just they have such a shining pair there in Columbus. And if you're a Blue Jackets fan, you have a lot to be proud of in those two.
Yeah.
Um, on the forward side, they're a little thin, right? And I think that's really where we're gonna see, Columbus try to go for the battle of attrition, right? I mean that they are gonna have to play down and dirty and in the muck because that they cannot, they can't compete on skill, right? I mean Tampa Bay is gonna win that, 5 times over, and they're what a lot of them had them akin to the Golden State Warriors when they went on their epic tear at the start of their peak.
Right.
So it's just I don't think Columbus can do it 2 times in a year or 2 times in back to back and so far as playoff appearances, but we'll see.
They
I mean, again, this could have gone either way,
Yeah.
and so many times throughout each of those overtime periods, it was really razor's edge as far as margins go for either team, and it's gonna be a war. And I think, if Tampa Bay does come out of this, they're going to be battle tested, and then you're going to be seeing the juggernaut that's gonna rip through. So, it's going to be fun to watch. And Columbus again is going to try and bloody their nose as best as they can, because I mean, what else can they do? But when you got Werenski, you got a healthy dose of Werenski and Jones on Kucherov, and excuse me, on Kucherov and Tyler Johnson. It's not a lot that you can do. It's interesting though. Victor Hedman almost had a full game's worth of minutes.
Yeah.
So
And that was after, being injured in the last round robin game where they were suspect about if he was going to play or not. Stamkos didn't play. So if he's missing game one, something's serious, because he wants to be out there. Ruben,
but maybe this will come into play in the next game in this series. But look at this. I mean, all of Tampa Bay's defensemen played less than 57 minutes. Each one played. So I'll just run through it. Kevin Shattenkirk at 42 minutes, Bogosian at 44, McDonough at 53, Hedman at 57, Chernak at 48, and Sergachev at 49. I mean, talk about distributed minutes across the blue line. And then you go look over on Columbus's side of the ledger.
Yep.
Ryan Murray only had 35 minutes. David Savard at 51 minutes, but the Kukan and Ryan Murray, Kukan, I don't know, as I can't pronounce his last name, but those two only had like 30 minutes. So, it could be that they're going to tax Werenski and Jones, and that might not be the best strategy, for a longevity.
Yeah, and Ruben saying that 65.06 for Jones, 61.14 for Rorensky, according to the Score app. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, here's the devil's advocate of what you just said, Landy. The thing is, yeah, that's not good down the road, especially if you're going to go 2 months deep and then have only a month or so off before you start next season. But at the same time, they've had over 4.5 months to prepare for, to get that rest in. So yeah, they're going to be battle tested, but we'll see if I mean, obviously we can't see them playing 5 overtimes. I mean, the NHL is going to have a logistical nightmare if that's the case, and we'll
Yeah, for sure.
get that in there. But you know, you can't drain them too much. Like we were seeing with Burnsy and sometimes EK65, how you're playing them over 22, 25, heck, 28 minutes a game. Uh, you just can't do that to your squad and keep going deep.
Yeah, no, it's not sustainable, right? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they correct for that. It'll be interesting to see if Stamkos does get a game in. And yeah, I mean, kind of go from there. I mean, there's not really much else they can do,
Right.
So, they're young, so that's the one saving grace is that if there's anybody that can take those minutes, it's those two.
Oh yeah.
Um, and your best players have got to come to play and have to take the lion's share of the minutes. So, um, good to see that. But yeah, yeah, that crazy on just how that game went down, and not only that, but Barclay Goodrow, 37 minutes.
Hey, when you become an overtime playoff hero, I mean that just shoots you above ground. There's no way you could get a first round pick for Barclay Goodrow if he doesn't score that goal against Vegas in Game 7. I just can't see it. I mean, and again, if Tampa Bay goes out early and DW has a first round pick from 16 to 22 in in his pocket, for the draft, he's looking really good, which he really shouldn't, but he looks pretty good. Uh, the $21 saying zero chance they have a skate tomorrow. Oh God, if Tortorella puts them out on the skate tomorrow, shame on them. You know. Felix saying, y'all know that game was about another period to tying the longest played NHL. Yes.
Well, it
Yes.
was fourth longest game ever.
Yeah.
In the history of the league, which spans over a century. So, that is pretty insane.
It,
Yeah,
it's just unreal how crazy it is that that we get something like this because again, I think they were talking about it, which was such a great reminder of Sharks fails of the past. When they went to the 3 overtime. Oh, it's the first 3 overtime game since the Sharks lost to the Predators in game 4 of the Western
huh?
semis.
Well, Western semis, yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's great. And then it went, oh, this is the 14th, fourth overtime game in NHL history. The last time it happened was 2008, where the Sharks lost to Dallas in Game 6 of the conference semis. Like, okay, great. Thank goodness there wasn't a 5 overtime game for the Sharks that lose, because they only do it in a regulation, of course, the first overtime or second overtime, and after that, forget it. Um, you know, but
Yeah. No, I still can't talk about it, Eric. I can't talk about us not being here. I mean, it's just.
why do you think I've been doing these shows, Landy? I've been going on. I think I only missed like a couple, and that's because AJ Rocket and Jerk were on for the Technologists. So I'm missing hockey that much, and it's fun to talk about it, but it's just crazy to see not us in it. And But you know what? It's even better because I'd be a nervous wreck if we gone through a 5 overtime game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah, but if you were asking like you're gonna get a 5 overtime game in the playoffs, I mean, would you want that? I think everybody would
No.
say yes.
Oh yes, and like Sky.
If the Sharks were playing, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
oh
Like
yeah,
I think, yeah, you know,
and Skylar hitting it on the head. Of course, we got the fourth longest game in NHL history in
in
2020 in
in
August.
yeah, 2020 is the year that just keeps on giving, isn't it?
Right? Oh my goodness. So, all right. Well, you know what? We got to recap somehow. So why don't we recap it?
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
It's wraparound time, people. We'll begin with the East. We'll give you these in the in per conference. So Philly and Montreal will get started 5 p.m. tomorrow. So there's that. Of course, we just told you about how Tampa beat the Blue Jackets 3-2 in 5 overtimes. The other two will start tomorrow as well. Washington and the Islanders will be at 12 p.m. Because of what happened tonight with the game going into 5 overtimes, the NHL had to push back Boston and Carolina to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, you will literally go. That's right, you will literally go from 8 a.m. to roughly 10:30 p.m. of hockey. I wish
Wait,
I had the day off tomorrow.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's Eastern, 8 a.m.
No,
Eastern,
no, no,
right?
no. They'll start at 11 a.m. Eastern,
Oh, 11 a.m. Oh, thank God.
which is still early for the NHL, for that matter. But yeah, 8 a.m. Whew. Man, I wish that was the case. In the West, of course, Vegas beat Chicago 4-1 to go up 1-0 in the series. 2:30, Nathan McKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche take on Hockey Jerks Coyotes. Hashtag my Yotes.
Peyote jersey.
Yes, we love the Kachina for sure. Calgary beats Dallas 3-2 in their game one of their round one series, and then 7:30 in the nightcap will be St. Louis playing a quote unquote home game at 9:30 Central Time against the Vancouver Canucks. Oh,
Did somebody say Vancouver?
God. I mean, why didn't we just did somebody say Vancouver? There you go. I'm surprised they didn't flip Colorado and St. Louis. That would probably make more sense in that case. So, that being said, we got some new threads that came out this morning. Were you able to see these?
No, it's the first I'm seeing them.
Oh, hang on. Let me try to pull them up. Let's see. I didn't have that one.
Oh, the Buffalo. Yes.
Oh yeah, Buffalo went back to royal blue and gold. Little just slight a skosh adjustment on the on this home jersey. They add the white accents to it, which I think look really sharp. And the road jersey really harkens back to what they had pre goat head.
Yeah.
You know, these look really sharp. What do you think of them?
I mean, exactly. Very nostalgic, and some of the best Buffalo Sabres teams. Kind of harkens back to those teams. So, I think it was a long time coming. I'm glad that they went back to their to their original threads, so to speak, but kind of give them the modern touches, to keep them fresh. And yeah, they look really good, and I can't wait to see them hit the ice. Dear God, though, I still have nightmares about Buffalo, but
Yeah, right.
other than that, yeah, no, I think I give it a solid A.
Yeah.
Maybe solid, maybe in the A minus.
Yeah. No,
category.
These are great. And Skylar, you're right about that. They are the final team to get rid of the front numbers. I don't care about the colors, but thank God they don't have the numbers on the front anymore. Yeah, that was a Reebok fail of the past, and they look so sharp on here. So, my friend Eric Bottomer, who works at Adidas Hockey, exclusively worked on these, and kudos to him. So, I'll put this out there right now, Mr. Bottomer, if you're watching, despite you spell your name the wrong way, because his name is Eric. If you happen to have a size 52 or 54 in that blue jersey, you know my address, you have my number, you know where to contact me. I'm just putting that out there.
Hook a brother up.
Hook a brother up, or better yet, just send that 30th anniversary jersey that you've been working on for the Sharks. All right.
Ooh, yeah.
Just saying.
Spicy.
Well,
spicy.
Nothing's confirmed, people. We're just hoping. Okay.
Yeah, no, but hashtag bring back the gray.
Yes. That would be the case. So,
I mean, in all seriousness, though, they could just re-release Heritage, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, or just break out the white version, or heck,
that'd be clean.
Or heck, make a black version of that. That starter one that we have in the original style. That would be tight. So
yeah, similar. Well, I guess it's yeah. No, I was gonna say similar to Black Armor 1.0, but I guess not. It's different. It's the starter one. So
yeah,
that one looked better.
So, well, hopefully, maybe we'll see.
I mean, well, they got to give us something, right? I mean, because we're still 9 months away from Sharks hockey.
Seems like it, but no, we're about 3.5 months away, and I know they had mentioned that the 7 teams had asked if they can have a mini camp just to get the guys on the ice, because remember, these players, and we're talking San Jose, LA, Anaheim, Buffalo, New Jersey, Detroit, Ottawa. They haven't been on a sheet of ice as a team since pre-COVID. I mean, it's been that long since the Sharks lost 6-2 on March 12th to Chicago. Have they not been on the ice together? So,
yeah,
I hopefully they get something going there. So, with that, we'll bring this to a close. If you missed anything or you want to watch this again, you can find our content on your favorite podcatcher and apps, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. So check it out there. Always available at tealtownusa.com. But please subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That will tell you when we go on the air. So with that, Mr. Landy, it is great to see you again. It's great that you're okay. It's great that, you got the...
Oh, you wanted to see this ugly mug again?
Hey, if that's ugly, I don't know what Mike Ricci is then. If that's the case, Landy,
hey.
Good to see you, my friend. What your final thoughts and where the people can find you?
Final thoughts. If this is the way that we're going to get the start of the playoffs, oh my goodness, where's it going to go from here? Right. And again, I, as a sports fan, am just happy I have something to watch in this really, really dark and depressing time. Keep your, make sure, everybody is keeping up on the COVID protocols, people. And as far as where you can find me, you can use my first name. That's Eric, spelled with a K, Landy, Landi, on all the social media garbage.
Absolutely. It's right down there. Yeah, right down there. Yeah. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. I have some pictures I need to throw up today. But we'll be back with you tomorrow if I'm actually half awake, following night 2 of the playoffs. And my God, for that last game was at St. Louis and Vancouver. Please do not go 5 overtimes. I have to work the next day. I mean, that's all I'm saying. So hit us up on the social media. Check all of our content out on the website at tealtownusa.com. Of course, hit that subscribe button down below or on the screen right now. Check out our content. The Pucknologist recorded a show on Sunday night. Check that out as well. So until tomorrow, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.